out of that pan.
Hold on, let me close the door. Actually, hold on.
Be like, hey, you being too loud.
Man, he gets this woman cooking fast, huh?
Hey, don't do that. Don't fucking do that. Don't do that.
I'm just saying.
Don't do that.
You know, just making an observation is all.
You're not even the fart. Bro, the fact that Zero listens to that it cracks me the fuck up. Oh, hey, by the way, I don't know if everybody's live. I'm live, by the way. But I gotta I have to do the Unlucky Charms podcast.
Can we
Do
missed your
it.
streams? Thank you.
I am.
I'm gonna be back.
I think it's Wednesdays and Sundays, bro. But now that there's no more football on Sundays, I think I can do Sundays. So I'm gonna let them know. I gotta reach out to Austin and be like, yo, I can do these days. I just been really busy, bro. I just been really fucking busy.
Yeah, just reach out. I mean, he's booking his guests down, and he calls me about, oh, there's this person who wants to do, and this person. I'm like, dude, just.
Yeah, I saw his post where he said he wants all of UTP to do his his show. So,
Yeah,
Who are we talking about?
the milkman.
Milkman, bro.
Oh yeah.
He wants us all to do his pod.
I'm down. That'd be cool.
Yo, wouldn't it be crazy if he had all of us on the same day? Like he did each one of us, and then he had all of us on the same day. That would be tight for his pod.
Wait, what do you mean?
Free content, bro.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm saving that. Saving the gas. I'm saving the gas for us.
Free content, bro.
All right, here's with the intro, Zero.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you so much for popping in to the usual Tuesdays.
Lackluster. Try again.
Listen, it's no, I actually think I have to be quiet. Genuinely, they texted us the other day about just being quiet in general from like
Zero. It is
like,
8 o'clock.
Oh, you
Cannot get it.
actually.
You cannot get a noise complaint at 8 o'clock.
It's like 10 to 8. You're right.
DTP, baby. Come on, dog.
What's
know about
DTP?
disturbing
What is that?
Disturbing the peace. Come on.
So it's like 10 to 8. Is that a regular? I've never had this. I don't know.
I think it's 10 to 6, but regardless, you're safe right now. It's 8 fucking o'clock.
All right. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for dropping by into the usual Tuesdays. Okay?
There we go.
I appreciate everybody for joining in. Listen, I'm almost for the most part fully moved in, still like getting some nooks and crannies in, like
I
situated.
get into nicks and crannies, you know what I'm saying?
But listen, we've been having a real fun time on the podcast, and I decided to dampen everybody's mood. Today we're gonna go into some more in-depth shit. Just because I've been loving the podcast, don't get me wrong, having fun, laughing, and that's what I always want to get to. And I want to keep this relatively light, but it's gonna be a sense of, thank you, a sense of.
Somebody's crying tonight.
I'm so sorry.
Hi, Juju.
I hope so. Cisco says hi.
Hi.
She said hi. Pudge says hi. I don't know.
Wow, that was so lackluster. Hello, Pudge.
She doesn't like me
She don't like any of us, bro.
because you guys told her I wouldn't want her on the fucking podcast, dude. That's, you guys are fucking nuts. Bro.
Nobody said you didn't want her on the podcast. Stop.
Damien said it.
I got food,
Damien
I'm so
told her.
sorry. When did I say
Damien,
that?
the fucking
You got
Biden
food?
voter, bro.
Wait, you got food?
Yeah.
Damn, should I order
Oh,
some
nice.
food? I need
Be
to order
fucking
some
grateful, dude. How about that?
food. Yeah, you grateful
You
motherfucker.
guys, okay,
Bro, you got a woman serving you food on the podcast
Dude,
now.
no
You
way,
fucking
bro.
misogynistic pig. You fucking yeah, take his headphone off.
fucking hate me,
You
man,
misogynistic bastard. You keeping your woman in the kitchen? What's wrong with you?
I love you.
Oh, okay. That makes up for everything. I love you. Okay.
Yeah, see, I put a band-aid on that shit. Do you have Zero? Do you have W Riz? The West of Rizziest.
I mean, if he has a girl cooking for him in the crib, you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
He's winning. He's winning right now.
Because I don't got nobody cooking for me in my house.
Fuck, no,
Mila, you bitch. Where you at? Go cook for me.
Blessed. I'm absolutely blessed to be, and that's kind of where I want to
Oh my God, here we go.
into
All right.
for this podcast. So, like I said, I do want to keep it light. I don't want to be like.
For the record,
but
though, Pudge, I've had 3 days of this already. Okay, I've had
That's
3
not
days of this
true.
motherfucker.
Bro, I haven't brought this up till like today. Genuinely,
Started Friday.
I've been
for
saying it.
sure.
I've been saying it more often, definitely.
Okay.
But because I feel it. It's just, and Cisco has a theory on why I feel this way. It could be right. It could be wrong. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong. No, I'm okay. Thank you.
Not even the fart. Hey.
But okay, so this to preface a little bit, I just turned 25. It was my birthday on the 9th. I think it was for
Happy
everybody to,
motherfucking birthday, by the way.
Thank you. But I like as the move happened, as my birthday's arriving, and there's a lot of actually like lot of little personal changes that have happened in my life that I was just kind of like rocked. I was like, this everything's changing all at once. It's like kind of crazy. There was some stuff that happened on a trip that like threw me for a loop. But a lot of the times when like I go into moments of change and big change, I ask God to like stable my life again, or like I ask a lot of God in these moments of like crazy change. But I was in the shower, butt ass naked, and I was
As the Lord intended.
I was
Very
thinking,
vulnerable, dude.
I was like, bro, I need
Better way to
pray.
talk to God than naked.
I was like, I need to pray. Like, I need to, like, shit is going crazy. And I was like, I was about to ask him for something, for like to be stable or to like fix things. But then I was just like, I should just be grateful for what I got now. And like, I'll figure it all out. I heard one time somebody say that it's kind of insulting to ask God for something when he's giving you everything. He gave you the mind to think, the legs to walk, the food to eat, like, and then you're gonna ask him to fix shit, and then you're gonna ask him to do shit, like, bro. So since then, I've been trying to like rewire my brain to just be like, thank you. Like every like bad day that I have, I try to think of like something nice to be thankful for. Like, thank you for the car that I'm able to afford to get me to and from work. Thank you for the job that I have, because I was working at Uber Eats making $50 a day. You know what I mean? Like, it was, mind you, it was my decision. It was dumb, but I'm just in such a better position that I just have so much to be grateful for. And I've tried to carry that out. And I wanted to see if you guys kind of shared the sentiment. And I have a couple of other questions, but that's kind of the basis of where this podcast is coming from and what the topic is coming from. But yeah,
That's beautiful, brother.
thank you.
It's a good one. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good one. But here's my look on it, okay? Right, as a non-religious person, right? Like I'm not here to say that. Like personally, I don't think God puts everything in my like in my pathway to accomplish or do those things, right? Because I believe more in free will than I do fate, personally, right? I think we've talked about this on the podcast or whatever, right? We were just seeds planted and then grow as you may, right? Like if I plant a fucking vine next to a house, it's gonna grow onto the house. Plant it next to a tree, it's gonna grow onto the tree. Plant it next to a gate, it's gonna grow on the gate. Plant it in the middle of a garden, it's just gonna grow in the garden. Like that's how I view things, right? Like I was just a seed planted. But I do believe in the gratefulness, right? I mean, and you and I have had this conversation, I think a couple of times, right? We've been given such an odd opportunity to be here that hundreds and millions and billions of others are never going to get the opportunity to see, right? And yeah, I had a conversation with my dad last night, and we were like, nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to fucking die, bro. Like none of us want to fucking die. But the fact that the end is known to us. It's not unknown, right? Our life, our mortal life is known to us. So the fact that we know that allows us to, or should allow us to appreciate way more than we really do. Does that make sense? Like we know that we're going to die. So therefore, no matter what it is, bro, I got to light this fucking candle. I get to have a drink. I get to do this podcast with you guys. I absolutely should be grateful for it. But so here's my question to you guys, as believers of God or some type of afterlife or something like that, is, or even speaking to God, I guess I should say, is that, do you find that it's necessary to thank him for that on a daily basis? Like, because you just said right now, like, oh, I'm grateful for the car that I have. I'm grateful for the house I live in and this and that. Like, do you feel that you should let him know that on a daily basis?
I think so.
I think the wanting to is yeah. You should want to, but is it absolutely necessary? You know, on what grand scheme? You know, that becomes like a grand scheme thing. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it ever says in the Bible that these disciples prayed to God every single day for the thankfulness that they had. Right?
Well,
Like they
yeah,
were
and
disciples.
if he's all knowing, then he should know that you're thankful, right?
Yeah, well, but that even goes to this thing of like your partner knows you love them, but then there's
Mm,
also a certain satisfaction of you telling them that you love them.
yeah.
That's a
There's
good
a
point.
difference to the proclaiming of it. You know what I'm saying? And
True.
that's where free will and faith. It's funny how you mention them as if they are mutually
No, no,
exclusive.
fate, not faith.
Oh,
Fate.
fate.
Yeah, fate.
Um, yeah, like because the faith and my free will. You know, I have the free will to give these thanks every day, right? I have that free will, I have that choice, right? But my faith determines that every day I make that choice to do it because my faith is so strong. Like, you know what I mean? That
Yeah, but
he
is the
should.
outcome of your fate different if you don't do that?
No, I don't believe so. Because there was a scripture that I had read. I don't know the words exactly, but it was speaking to the effect of people who spread there's certain people who minister and spread the gospel and try to do good deeds to win favor with God versus just doing good things because that's what you're supposed to do.
Mhm,
You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
So it's like those who seek favor in God. It was like something like he says, like turn away from him because I don't know you. Right when that time comes, like turn away because I don't know you. So it's the people who do it just out of because this is what I'm supposed to be doing, not I'm trying to, you know, brown nose. Like it's like talking about like brown nosers, damn near. Like you know what I'm saying? So no, no, I don't think your fate necessarily changes.
It's like sorry, really quick, the difference between maybe not perfectly, but the way that I was having it described to me is Cain and Abel, the whole story with Cain and Abel is they're brothers, right? And then Abel, if I remember the story right,
Corpse will
Abel's like
correct you.
God. Please, please, for real, do, because maybe I don't remember. But Abel is depicted in the story as like not God's favorite, but God is like has decided that all of his sacrifices and things he's done are worthy of being in his good graces, I guess. And Cain, no matter what he tries, is always falling short. To like wrap up probably a longer story. The way that I like it to be described is Cain never truly gave sacrifices worth giving, no matter how, maybe even monetarily, let's say, they could have been high. Like, let's say I give up my whole desk setup. Monetarily, it's probably really high, but if it doesn't mean too much to me, is it that much of a sacrifice? It's like giving away like socks or something like that. But if I gave away like my car, that probably means a lot to me because my dad got it for me or whatever it may be. That's a big sacrifice. It's the difference of like the quality of thanks or the quality of the sacrifice that you give being in good graces with God.
But it's
That's
quality
interesting.
to self, right? Is what you're saying.
Because everybody's going to be different.
Sure.
You can give $1 million away and it be bullshit, or you can give $10 away and it mean the world.
Well, that's interesting to think that later on in that story, right, when Cain is banished, he's imprinted with a mark, and that
Mm-hmm.
mark was to protect him against people who would come to find out of his murder of his brother.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if your father, you know, didn't find favor in you, would he have given you this mark? Because that was kind of you are right. Like he was upset that Abel had gained favor with God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're both given these sacrifices. You know what I mean? So yeah, like that's interesting. That's an interesting way for you to look at it. That's a
But if I'm not mistaken, too, that mark later in that same, I don't know if in the same story or if later in the Bible, Cain says that the burden he has of the mark is too much to bear.
mhm,
I think that's equivalent to like, you know how you're more scared of your parent when they don't just yell at you
mhm.
versus when they just like maybe yell at you, maybe like hit you a couple times, and then you're like, okay, that's it, like we're good. the punishment of like prolonged, even possibly like psychological, like you get to sit with what you've done, and to the level of like a murder of your brother, is so much more than any real physical punishment could ever, bear. Anybody could bear. So yeah, that's
Interesting,
a heavy story,
Demo.
bro. That's a heavy story.
Yeah. But I do like thinking of Cain when I think about like gratefulness, like, and just kind of like giving what you can give, and if you're giving it your all, that is enough. You know what I mean? And though you may not be reaping the reward of what you seek now, it can come to you later. Like I just think of it like, to speak really layman, is this was just Abel's time to shine. This was his time, and I feel like, being a father of multiple children, it's like this one gets their shine, and then this one has to get their shine, and then this one's going to get my attention, and then this one's getting my attention. Rarely do they get it 50-50. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you just got to be grateful. It might suck, you might fall short, whatever, like, you know what I mean, and you're not getting the light that you think that you deserve, right? That you think that you deserve, but it's coming later.
Yeah, but that's the point, right? That's the thing, is that you should never be in a position to feel that you're deserving of a certain light.
Period.
That's what gratefulness is, in the way I look at it, right? Like, it's like, I'm doing these things not to have the spotlight put on me. I'm doing these things because, like Damo said, it's the fucking right thing to do. At the end of the day, that's the right thing to do.
In my daily prayer, I say, I'm grateful for what you give, and I'm humbled by that and what you see fit to take away. Right. So it's like,
a good one. Jesus.
So it's like humble. I want to stay humble when you take these things from me, because I'm gonna be like, how dare you take these things from me? Whether it's loss of a job, or you fucking stubbed your toe on the edge of the bed in the middle of the night, or fucking late again, stuck in fucking traffic, like whatever it is, like, okay, cool. Like, this is because I'm grateful for everything I've been given. Like, I have the chance to go to work. I'm late right now, whatever, dude, just fucking and keep it pushing.
Question from the YouTube chat. Are you guys aware that Goku can beat Jesus?
This is a highly
contested.
This is not a hot takes episode.
And Abel isn't able to beat Goku.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
He couldn't beat his own brother, bro. So I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I'd take Goku in that fight. But Jesus, that's a harder sell, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
It depends if he can use a cross or not.
Jesus or
Goku, if he can use a cross, he's got a fighting chance, dude.
Maybe, bro.
No, but I that's the thing that I've always been very, I wouldn't say weary on, right? Like, I feel like the way that I live my life and the way I go about my interactions with people, especially now as of late, like getting older and things of that nature. I mean, I feel like I always had it instilled in me, but I never really used it until I got older, is that just doing the right thing is the right thing always. And I don't expect anything back. I've been living my life for the past couple of years with no expectation from anybody. And I think I kind of mentioned this to Damo one time, is that because if I fucking expect something from somebody, then I can be disappointed. And it's not their fault that I'm disappointed. You know what I mean? I put that expectation onto them. So why live my life with why live life with expectation of other people? I mean, I know that there's things that I'm expected to do for myself, but why live with expectations?
Because there is a certain quality of character that you want the people who are in your life, like in your inner circles, to possess and maintain. Yes. Right. So I do think that there is a healthy level of expectation that can be held. And I think one thing that fucks people up, right, is that it's okay to have an expectation, right? And it's okay to accept somebody in your life who doesn't meet that expectation, but is striving to get there, right? And I think that we need to be more grateful in that idea that they're trying, right? And they may stumble along the way.
Yeah, but are they if they're in your inner circle already, right? Then that means that's the type of person that you can relate to.
Yes.
Right? So if you can already relate to that type of person, then you shouldn't expect anything from them because it's already a given. It should it not be? Like, let me put it to you like this: say we all lived here in San Diego, right?
Mhm.
If I called you and was like, "Yo, Putch, my fucking car broke down. Can I get a ride?" Knowing your character, I don't necessarily expect you to be like, "Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll pick you up," because I already know your character, so I know that that's a trait that you already have. Is that expected? Now that I'm saying it out loud, I feel like that is expectation.
you just expect. Well, but like you expect him to a certain degree, right? Like if he's really doing some other shit that he really can't pull away from, you don't expect him to like drop everything.
I expect your honesty in that moment.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
sure.
Yeah, like
Okay.
you see what I'm saying? So I
Yeah,
think
that's a fair point.
and that's a healthy level of, because there's some people who I know will never meet my level of expectation when it comes to honesty. And that's why you're not my inner circle of friends. That's why I might lie to you about going to the fucking barbecue. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I might just lie to you about kicking it, bro. I just might. But you guys, no, I would never dare. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, nah, bro. Like, it's either because Cisco, you know, I'm gonna come get you. Like, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
a
that's
come
what I'm
get you
saying.
type
And
homeboy,
it's
like,
not that
you know
I
what I mean?
expect you to come get me because I'm calling. I'm trying to figure out how to verbalize it correctly to what the point that I'm trying to make. But it's not like you're not my friend because of those expectations. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Does that part make
And
sense?
that's what makes it seem like a fucking like a it's like a I can't even think like a conundrum. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I don't expect this of you, but you're my homeboy, and I know if I call you, I you know, there's a healthy, like, I know Putch will do this for me. So there is a little expectation you can slide in there, but you're not my homeboy because of that. Like, you know, like it's a weird thing
Yeah.
where, you know, you can expect certain things from certain people. You know what I mean? After, you know, you've built a certain rapport and camaraderie, whatever the fuck word you want to throw on it. You know, but what I'm saying though is like there might be those moments like we're saying, right? Like there's those moments where we're saying like, oh, Damo's busy, he's not going to come get me. I shouldn't be like, oh, well, he's just not my fucking friend. No, I
Yeah.
need to be grateful for all the times he did pick me up. You know what I mean? Woo woo woo. Or Putch lost his job and he's fucking bummy right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
let me take
hey
him out to
man,
dinner real quick. You know what I mean? Like,
like
let
hey,
me.
let's get him right. Let's get him right real quick. Get him straight and get him. But the expectation is like, Putch, you got to get on the ball, dog. Like, you gotta get back in the game. You know what I mean? We can't just. I would hope you guys would do that for me. You know, I would expect that you
Man,
guys
fuck
would
you,
do that for
dog.
me. Like, you just see how the words come out. Yeah, I would expect that you guys would do that for me. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm grateful for you guys.
But is
bro.
that
I'm grateful to
expectation or is
have
that hope?
that.
Like, could
There's
you?
a little bit of
Can you?
expectation because
I feel like it's interchangeable with hope, though, right? Like, I would hope that you would do that for me.
No, I think expectation comes with a little more. They come from the same place, but expectation comes with a certain level of trust because you've already done it before.
But what if I haven't?
That's where I'm having hope.
feel like
You see what I'm
hope
saying?
is-
Like, okay, like when I was traveling back and forth to Ventura, right? I didn't expect for you to be like, hey, yo, you could stay in my extra room because you're only here for the weekend. But like, I hope that you would be like, hey, yo, you could stay in my extra room. I need a place to stay.
Mhm.
Okay, great. You know what I mean? I didn't expect. Maybe I called you out of hope that you'd be like, hey, yo, you could stay in my extra room.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make more sense? What I'm trying to say now? Like, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
an expectation,
Yeah.
even though I had already known you for years.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. I think hope may be then where it starts at, and then it can slowly, because even like in relationships, you hope that this person would feel this way, and you hope that they would do these things, and then you hope that they would, you know, and then it slowly turns into an expectation that you expect these actions out of them. You expect this feeling.
Well, I
or
think, well, maybe, okay. Here's where I'm coming from with this. I think maybe once you've established a relationship, then expectations can become a thing. I think what I'm talking about is like off the bat type shit.
Oh, off rip, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, and we're really like verbalizing shit, and I'm really like talking out loud and saying this shit, I think that's where I don't know, but because I still really don't expect people to do like even. Bro, I've known you almost a fucking decade, and I don't expect anything from you. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess I expect you to show up to the podcast. You know what I mean?
That's why I'm grateful for you guys, man. And I want to take a second and say that I'm even just talking about it. I'm grateful for you guys, man.
No, I'm hella
thankful
grateful for y'all. I love y'all.
I'm
I
grateful for you
really
guys too.
Not
But-
Like I haven't been telling Zero enough. I'm grateful for you, Zero.
Yeah.
No, actually, I did tell you today I was proud of you.
Wait, why? What did I do?
You don't remember? Wow, my words.
No, but what did I do to? What did I do to be?
I
proud of?
just you a year ago. When I met you a
yeah.
year ago to now, like I'm just proud of like you've come out of your shell. We're mentoring together. Like you're really what you say resonates with a lot of people. That's just important. You know what I mean? And not that I don't think that you had that same power a year ago, but the person that I met a year ago may have not taken the position that you're in right now to do the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Like you have your hands in a lot of stuff at work. I would say personally.
Couple of things.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and the way
I
you
appreciate
the way you chat to people is very respectful, but it's very like, listen, motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm a little bit more like authority. I'm like, listen, dumb bitch. Nah,
Let's
not
go. Let's go.
but no, I
I
appreciate.
don't know
you
about
guys.
dumb bitch, but
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I was just fucking with you guys. I had a question, something that I brought up to Save very quickly. I had to not elaborate, but really figure this out a little bit before I brought it on, especially to flesh it out a little bit more to make sure it's a question that could be answered. I guess not properly, but like in a good way. So the question is three kind of separate questions. So one question is, what is the worst year that you could think of, the best year that you could think of, and then the most pivotal year of your life so far? And this came about because of Cisco's theory, Save's theory of the fact that I'm so grateful recently is that I just turned 25, and that's kind of a pivotal moment in at least what he says, his life. And that's when he started feeling a lot more grateful for things.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to see, I mean, based on those three questions, where you guys are standing.
this was a hard one for me to answer, Corpse. And I don't go. I want you to go first because this is not an easy question for me to answer.
No.
You know what I mean? And we're in our
I've been
30s
taking
now.
some haymakers these last few fucking years.
Yeah,
bro.
and
Jesus
but because
Christ.
the way I looked at it is a whole year is really hard to establish in your mind. Like, wow, this was a real pivotal year for me to go about doing certain things and the way I do certain things. Because I think the way that we are is very transitional throughout years, trial and error and things of that nature. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I'm gonna let you go first while I think about it. So go ahead.
There's
What
a
were you
lot
gonna
of the
say, Sam?
times though, like a year, I feel like that as you progress, you're like 20, let's say 22, 23, you're like doing things and changing and evolving and maybe like changing what you're doing as you're going. But then like 20, let's say 24, it like clicks and you're like, oh, bro, this is like the difference between 24 and 22. It's all these little changes, but at 24, it like solidified a little bit more.
Dude,
Hmm.
I think
Okay.
I think of that idea of like every year. I don't know. It just seems like the more you build that like callus up, you know what I mean, like that scar tissue just bumping into shit. Every fucking year, it gets hard to think like, well, damn, is this, is this year harder than that one? Because when I was that old, I saw things a certain way. Now this year, I don't see this, that stuff the same way, and it doesn't bother me or it doesn't affect me as much. But this stuff here affects me now, and it used to not affect me before. So that's a
It's a hard question, bro.
that's a hard question, bro.
Yeah.
I would say probably I would take it by like situations. And it's what most pivotal, hardest, and then best.
Best. Like either if you want to take it like happiest, you could do that. You could do best is like the most profound year that you might have had. It depends on how you want to.
Most pivotal year, I would say, of my life. I would say 2000 and 2009, between 2009 and 2010, because that's when I moved back to California. And I always think of the separate time timeline that I created of my life, dude, where I didn't move to Cali, like, you know what I mean? And what I would have became if I never started dancing with CI All Mill, you know what I mean? Because that led to Corpse. You know, like I'm here now doing this fucking podcast all because I made a decision at 16 years old to get involved.
That's wild.
You know, so it's like, and I was on drugs, I was all this shit, like, you know what I mean? I was going in a certain direction. Hardest year, dude, I'd say probably 2019 into 2020 was probably the roughest. Because that's when me and my son's mom had split up. And my sister, I think like 6 months before that, had moved back to North Carolina. So I was out here chilling just by myself. Like, you know what I mean? That taught me a lot.
We had lots of phone calls during that time, you and I.
That taught me a lot about myself, bro. Like, I said this to the kids who were dancing one time, and I didn't realize it until it applied to myself, really what those words felt like. But I was like, I told them one time, I was like, yo, this shit matters to you now because you're this old, and these things matter to this old type people. You get older, that stuff doesn't matter anymore, because stuff that are that old type people, that stuff matters to them, and it goes on and on. Right. And I always remember, this is this type stuff, guys. Like, you know what I mean? This type, I would always say this type, like this type. There's a time and a place. Dude, that 2019 to 2020 like made me realize, like, dude, there was so much shit that I should not, like, fuck all that. Like, and now even going forward, it's like, bro, I've already hit like a certain rock bottom that I don't think could really like muster up to it. Like, drastic shit would have to happen in my life for me to hit that. Best year? Fuck. But dude, I've had some good times, boys. I've had a pretty fucking rad life. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, a lot of it's bullshit, but when I think about the cool stuff, like, you know what I mean, like the stuff I'm grateful for, it's pretty fucking rad, bro. Key West was fun. Florida, I think, was probably like fun, but I think best year, dude, probably like 20. You know, obviously when Elijah was born is obvious. That's too obvious.
Yeah, I don't think that counts. I mean, it counts, right? But I feel like that's a given.
Yeah, that's life changing. But even that in itself, bro, is like so crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you learn about yourself. You fucking really learn. You really learn about yourself. Oh my god. Bro, I'd have to say probably like 2014. It was like 2014 status.
Bro, that 2016 summer was just ridiculous. Everybody loves 2016 summer. What the fuck happened in 2016 summer?
What happened that summer?
I don't know, bro, but it was just a momentous summer. Like, everybody just loves that. That year, 2016, was a good year for everybody. Maybe not everybody, but it was just such a good year, bro.
Thanks for stopping by, bro.
My dad died in December of that year, and it was like to think, I always hear people say that summer of 16. Like, dude, I don't remember nothing of 2016 except that. Like, that's the only, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's why
that's the year I moved back to San Diego. 2016.
I think it is.
Yeah, because your dad passed away right when because I came back in September.
Mm-hmm.
Or August or September, and then your dad passed. Yeah, it was 2016. I came back to San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Damn,
because 15 I started crumping, and it was like a year before that, bro. I was doing fucking I was doing AOV and I was doing faction, bro, and I was coaching Undeclared. Like, bro, I was dancing. Like best year, like, if I could think of like Putch, you know, this motherfucker, what does he love doing and how much was he doing it? Was he doing it good? That year, I was doing it. I was doing it all the fucking time.
Yeah, I moved back August 2016 was when I came back to San Diego.
Yeah, Pops was gone by December.
That's crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
All right, let's see. What was the 3 options? Best year of my life, worst
Most
year of my
pivotal.
life, and most pivotal.
Yeah.
Best year, I'll say best years of my life. I'm gonna say just based off of like recollection and just memory for the whole year. I'm talking about for the whole year because there's been times where I just had a great time. 2013, 2014, because I was in Vegas all the fucking time, bro, and I was really just like, I was really just like enjoying the fuck out of my life, and I'll never forget it to this day. My boy, who I used to go out there with, we had this ritual because we always flew, right? We had this ritual, bro. We would go fly in Friday, leave Sunday, and Friday we would like we'd link up. We'd go to the airport bar, have a couple of drinks, get on the plane, order a drink. We both put our headphones in, whether we were sitting together or separately. Put our headphones in, bro. We both had our own playlist that we would fly to for 45 minutes, and we both like played certain songs when we were, landing and shit. Go to the hotel, check in, and then like he would shower or I would shower, and then whoever wasn't showering would go downstairs, grab an 18 pack, put it on ice, and then we would fucking iron our clothes, bro, and we would like, bro, we would look sharp as fuck, and we would sit. So by the time we got to Vegas, it'd probably be like 9 or 10, 8 or 9, and then by the time we would like be ironing our clothes, it'd be 10 o'clock, and we would put 2 chairs, and we always got a window hotel room that would face the strip wherever the fuck we were at. And he used to call me Mandalay because I love staying at Mandalay Bay because you could see the whole strip. That's my favorite fucking hotel to stay at. And we would put two chairs. We would put 2 chairs in front of the window, and we would just sit and chat for like an hour. And we would play The Weeknd, or we would play like old Drake at that point. And we would just talk about like, man, there's no motherfuckers doing this shit like the way we are. You know what I mean? There's nobody like we're making the money that we're fucking making. Like we're 2 good looking guys. We don't even have to come here to get bitches. Like we just come here to have a good time. We know we're gonna fucking be hungover as fuck in the morning and wake up, and whoever wakes up first is gonna pass the other one a beer, and we're gonna drink, and then we're gonna go downstairs and gamble and go get some food and this and that, and we're gonna do it all again tomorrow night. And we would do that for an hour, and then 11:30 comes, call the cab or limo or whatever, wherever the fuck we were going that night, and just go and have a good ass fucking time and be vibing out wherever the fuck we're vibing at, wind up at the strip club, and get home, get back to the hotel like 4 in the morning. And that, bro, that happened like 17, 18 months in a row for me. It was fucking scheduled. We did it every single month, at least one time, sometimes even 2 times a month. And that, to me, I'll never forget that. That I had so much fucking fun, bro. It was the best time of my life. Then worst time of my life was
You
I
put
would
it
say
all on red.
2018, 2019, and same thing as Putch. That was I had just gotten out of my relationship, my 10-year relationship with my son's mom. Wound up being with another girl, but I was still like just fucked up from being in a routine with the same person for 10 years and then like changing it all up. And I was drinking every night, bro. I couldn't sleep without drinking, and I was just in a miserable place in my life internally, right? Like externally, nobody really fucking knew. But internally, I was just in a weird place. My life had just changed drastically. I had my own place for the first time. I was alone. It was just horrible, bro. And it took me and then right after that happened, like COVID fucking happened. I was even more alone, And then my mom got COVID, went to the hospital.
That's a scary story. Your mom's story is a scary story,
bro. It was a fucked up time. Like that whole 3 year, I would say like 2018, 2019, 2020. That whole 3 years, I would never want to go back to that time ever in my life. This shit was fucked up. Most pivotal, I'd say was 20. 2011. 2011. Because that's when I got into the car business. And I don't know if I ever told this story, but was it 2011 or 2010? It was one of those years. Um, Tara and I were living together, and I was working as a dishwasher, and I couldn't afford. Well, I couldn't afford the rent for the place that we were fucking living at, and I don't know where the fuck she was at,
Gang shit.
bro. I don't know where the fuck she was at, but she came home and she found me crying in the room on the floor, bro. I was like crying, like boo-hoo, fucking crying. And she was like, "What's going on? What's wrong? This, that, and the other." And I was like, "Bro, I can't. We can't live like I can't." And this is back then. You know what I mean? Like the rent wasn't that expensive. It was like
It
1,100
was not
bucks,
that bad.
900
Yeah.
bucks, whatever the fuck it was back then. And I was like, I can't live like this. So she was like, "Listen, let's just like go and look for a job, this, that, and the other." Applied for a dealership. Then I went painting. I went to go paint, and the manager called me, and he was like, "Hey, I got your resume. Can you come in for an interview?" And I was like, "Yeah. When do you want to schedule?" He's like, "Can you come in right now?" And I was like, "I'm not really in the attire to come in. You know what I mean?" And he was like, "No, just come right now." It was a brand new dealership. They were just fucking looking for people. I had fucking some Nikes on with Janowskis with paint all over them. I had paint all over my fingers. I had a white t-shirt on and black jeans. Walked in there. We did a standing interview. He just asked me a bunch of questions, hired me. And then that year, bro, was the most money I had ever made. Like in my 20s. Like I was 20 years old and I had made the most money that I've ever made before. And I was like, what the fuck? This just changed my whole fucking life. And now, like, sales is my life. I love selling. I love teaching people how to sell. I love everything about fucking sales. But the car business is a different beast, bro. Like, that shit is scary, bro. You be yelling back and forth with your managers and, like, fuck you, motherfucker. Like, I remember when I was in finance, when I came back to San Diego, I was in finance, and one of my friends was a desk manager, and I was in finance. And, bro, we started arguing in front of salespeople, and I called him a fucking bitch. And then I went in, I fucking did the deal, and then I came back out, and I was like, "Yo, my bad. Like, I didn't even mean to call you that. It was disrespectful of me to do that in front of salespeople." And he's like, "Nah, we're good, bro. Like, I didn't know you didn't fucking mean it. You're just mad at the fucking deal that you got." And I was like, "Yeah, my bad." But that was very.
Damn.
But getting into the car business was very pivotal to me because I grew very thick skin, and I had learned to like love people a little bit more. You know what I mean? And it showed me that money definitely changes people. Money fucks you up, bro.
Like
and
yourself,
it is,
or you saw it
yeah,
like other
for
people?
everybody, bro. You put yourself in a position at 20 fucking years old, a motherfucker that never had shit before. Now you got a bunch of us, and you're making like buku bucks. Yeah, bro, it changes people. Hella changes people.
Mm-hmm.
It was a scary thing, and I had to be put in check, and somebody had to check my ass, and I was like, okay, you're right. Let's just make this bread and put it away, and I'm about to fly to Vegas every fucking month for 18 months. It was wild. It was wild.
I get real tight-lipped, bro, and people start talking about money and this and that, like how much they got. I'm just like, dude, I'm not disclosing that number. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't.
Mhm.
I don't ever want to judge somebody based off of how much they make.
Mhm.
It
You know what I mean?
doesn't
And I feel like,
fucking matter, bro.
yeah, but people look at it like that's just the reality. Like, you know what I mean? Like the reality is people do look at each other based off of these social standards of how much they make. But really it's like, bro, like somebody could be getting paid $8 an hour at a fucking thrift store somewhere, but this guy could probably build a house with his bare hands. You know what I mean? Like look at Amish people, bro. These motherfuckers build shit with their bare fucking hands, dude. You know what I mean? And it lasts forever. But they
And
make
that's the
no
thing.
money.
That's the thing is I'm happier now making the salary or whatever the commission checks that I make now. I'm happier now than I was back then.
Mhm.
No.
Like I'm genuinely a happier person now than I was then. That's the crazy part about it, bro. 'Cause I have way more time to do whatever the fuck I want. I have more time to do this. I have more time to see my son. I have more time to like. I miss the money. I'll tell you that much. I fucking miss the money, bro. But
Yeah.
I enjoy life at a much slower pace than I did back then. Like I really like grasp everything that is happening and sit here and can enjoy every interaction that happens, and it's just way more rewarding now as I am older. Like I'm glad I did that when I was younger. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a level of like you have to go through I guess the shattering of like your dream maybe because like I feel like everybody's goal in the beginning because it's such a easy maybe not easy but just like an easy goal to fixate on is to make as much money as possible. And let's say you have the opportunity or get the opportunity to get as not as much but a lot of money, way more than you're used to, and then realize all of the strings that it comes attached with. um, do you think that like you necessarily need to like obtain that it break like that dream break a little bit and be like, oh fuck, like maybe this isn't everything and maybe there's a lot more to like the goals that I should set than just the money?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I think there's a time and a place for certain people, right? Like I grew older and I had a child, and now I live on my own, and so I do have to make a certain amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't have to make the money that I was making before. But it was nice during that time that I was making that money because I could do the things that I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I only wanted to do those things because I had the money to do them. You know what I mean? So it's like there's a lot of teetering that's going on. Had I not had the money to do all those things, I would have never experienced those things, and I may have wound up a different fucking person.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't need to make funny money. You know what I mean? Like where I can be just dumb with it. Like, oh, go to Six Flags on a fucking random Tuesday, or pop up over here. Like it sounds nice. You know what I mean? It does. And I've been able to make money where it was like that. Like, you know what I mean? But like yeah, like Cisco's right. Like if I could really afford my life and be able to be around the kids and all this and all that more, I 100% would be doing that. Like trust me. Um but I just can't. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like it's right. It's like if you have your bottom line and you're hitting it and you got enough to be able to like make sure your family's good. Anything outside of that, bro, you're honestly trading. You know what I mean? Like you're being a little greedy. You know what I mean? If in my eyes, it's like you're being a little greedy and you're just kind of trading this time you could be spending with the fam or spending doing the things that you actually like doing. You know what I mean? Besides making money.
Yeah, I had a sales manager that would give us a hard time when we would leave work on our scheduled time to leave, and they'd be like, "Yo, where you
Mm,
going? Like, you're not gonna stay until close to try and make another deal?" Like what they were like, what happens, when you want to buy a house? What happens when you have a kid? Like you don't want to put all that money away and make sure that you have that shit for like motherfucker, I ain't even putting no money away for myself. Like what the fuck? No, I don't want to fucking stay. You know what I mean? But that would get in your head and you'd be like, you know what? He's right. Like maybe I could stay for a couple 2 hours until we close the doors and I could make another deal because another deal might put $500 on my check or $800 on
mm-hmm.
my check. You know what I mean? Or I'm this close to my bonus, which is a $1,500 fucking bonus, or maybe somebody's gonna come in on this used car that I know I can make $2,500 on to sell it. Like, okay, now I'm gonna stay. You know what I mean? But that's the thing is, though, like when you're in that position, your life is leveraged by money,
Mm-hmm.
and my life is way more important than money is. So why would I?
Mm-hmm.
Why was I leveraging my life to money? You know what I mean? Like, and that's the fucked up part because we love money. We can do everything we want when we have the fucking money. We don't have to penny pinch. We don't have to do this, that, and the other. But then I'm missing out on every fucking other thing that's going on. I'm missing out with time with my friends who I've been friends with for who knows how long. I'm missing out. I would be missing out on doing a podcast. I'd be missing out on so much shit, bro. So when they say time is money, my time is more important than money.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But what about, so I feel like I get into this problem a little bit. I feel like a lot of the times people need to be motivated by money to have the drive. But me personally, I've never, ever, ever been motivated by money. I thought like when I get a job, I'll be motivated by money. Didn't happen. When I get out of school, I'll be motivated by money. It didn't happen. When I get a place, I'll be motivated by money. It hasn't happened. Like I get a little worried because I'm like, I know money's important, but I do like by default, I think I've always valued time over money. But like in the world we're in right now, not that like you can't do things to make more money with less time, but it's just I feel like sometimes like I need a little bit more drive, and money's like an easy de facto like way to drive people sometimes, where I'm like just missing that part of my brain where I'm like,
Yeah, but you here, and I mean this in the most respectful way possible. You've never had to worry about money.
No, that's true, definitely.
So that plays the biggest key right there.
But like,
all you've ever had to worry about is whatever minimum rent that your parents ask you to pay, your car payment, and your gas. Like, other than that, everything else, your money went to everything else that you wanted. You know what I mean? Like you weren't grinding because you couldn't eat. You weren't grinding because you couldn't put gas in a car. You weren't grinding because you know what I mean. Like if you wanted to grab something, you could easily grab it. It would be more of a matter of, do I really want to watch this money leave my bank account type shit for you? But it was like, it wasn't a struggle bust type of thing for you because you never had to worry about the money. You know what I mean? You never had to worry that this was going to be your last dollar.
Bro, I've been making life decisions at the gas pump, dog, for a cool minute.
You're like,
bro.
I can only put $15.85 in this motherfucker, and I'm hoping that gets me to where I need to go. You know what I mean? Like you've never been in that position. You know what I mean? So therefore, money doesn't dictate the way that you go about your life. But now it might change for you now because you have your own joint. You know what I mean? Now you really got to really watch. You might be sitting on 6 to 8 months worth of savings or whatever that you can, but what happens when that starts depleting and you're like, oh fuck, now I don't know if I make enough to do the things that we were normally doing.
Well, so that's like, I guess, part of what do you guys suggest, I guess, of like, if you don't have that drive for money, let's say, where can you pull from to have like the same drive? You know what I mean? Because I want to do well. I do want to make money, but
from that will drive you. When you're sitting on the floor of that bedroom, crying your eyes out because you can't afford the rent.
Yeah, I don't want to get to that point.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that is the driving force.
Every time you crawl out that bed, say, "Damn, I like how this bed feels."
Yeah, that's the driving force. I like living alone. I like where I'm at.
Yeah. Looking in the fucking mirror, I can stand here and piss with the fucking door open was cracking. I can walk around this bitch butt naked. All of that, you like that? That's what you like? Okay, then you're gonna go. Let's clock in, baby. You know, let's clock in.
That's the driving force now, because you have your own space. You like your own space. You like I said, I refuse to move back in with my dad. He's told me hundreds and thousands of times, like, Mijo, if you need to move back in with me, you absolutely can. Fuck that, because then I failed in my eyes. Mm-hmm. Once you leave the nest, you don't go back.
Yeah,
that's the driving force.
It's hard, bro. Like even like me moving back in with my sister, I'm not even there, and I still think about it, and it makes me feel like
this motherfucker rents out a hotel room to do the podcast, bro.
You feel me? Like it just doesn't feel right. I don't feel comfortable. It's not quiet enough. It's not my space. You know, I gotta have my space.
Like, think about it, bro. Like, you and I don't talk about finances a lot, right? But you think I'm really fucking, like, going to Spectrum and just wasting my fucking time when I'm there? Fuck no. I gotta fucking make sales because I gotta pay for this fucking place. I gotta pay for my son to play baseball. I gotta pay for him to fucking go to Play City and do shit like that. Plus, I got my own personal expenses. If I want to send a girl some money so she can get lunch, or if I want to fucking go get lunch with you or whatever, like I gotta pay for that shit. I want a fucking
corn dog.
Yeah, if I want to eat 30 corn dogs in 2 hours, I gotta pay for that shit.
Fuck me, dude. Yeah. God damn.
Like that's the driving force. And it might look different because you're not like, oh fuck bitches, get money over everything, this, that, and the other. We don't have to be like that. But we know what we gotta put our heads down and do in order to continue doing what the fuck we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why when we're at work, I don't give a fuck if I'm a top guy or not. What the fuck are my paychecks looking like? That's what I care about. I don't give a fuck about being a top guy. Who the fuck? Because I'm a top guy, who the fuck am I impressing? I don't give a fuck. I care about what my paycheck looks like. And as long as my paycheck makes sure that I can maintain the things that I maintain, I can go out once or twice every month if I wanted to do that. I can go eat somewhere fucking nice. Like that's all the fuck I give a fuck about. I can go eat poke with you, or if I'm driving to work and I'm like, hey, I'll be early. You want some Starbucks? If I can take care of you, my people, me, whoever the fuck is around me, that's all I give a fuck about. Fuck being the top guy, bro. I'm not here to impress nobody. I'm here to make sure my paper is right. That's it. You know what I mean?
Goddamn right, baby. America.
Fuck yeah.
Damn,
Bro,
I just
no,
turned up
like,
on you a little bit. My bad. I didn't mean to turn up on you.
No, you're good, bro. No,
Bro,
I genuinely like ask myself this because like, no, you are right. Like, as I've been absolutely blessed, and I'll say it every fucking day, but I've been blessed with the ability to like not necessarily be able to relate every time when you guys are like talking about the struggles that you guys have been through. And I guess to some degree it's a double-edged sword because I don't have that drive for money in that same regard. But I'm more wanting to figure out the same drive with a different force behind it before I have to get to that point of like, this is my story. I hope that I can like divert from that story and just be like, this is what drives me. This could be what drives a lot of other people who aren't necessarily innately driven by money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but you also have to be thankful for it, right? Like, be thankful that you've never been put in a position where you put in $1.15 in your fucking gas tank. You know what I mean? Like, nobody. That shit sucks, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm at the gas pump and I like put $1.15 in my gas tank and I look around and see who the fuck is around me real quick, and then I like jam out and I'm like, oh fuck, I hope I can make it to work type shit. You know what I mean? Like, but. At the end of the day, you got to be able to put your pride aside. I mean, there was a time where I was like, yo, Demo, can you give me a fucking ride home? You know what I mean? Like, I was taking the trolley to do, but like, see, that's the thing, right? Is like, do it in silence. That's what I wish I would have known when I was making all the fucking money that I was making, because I was loud and proud that I was fucking making all this money. Like, don't do that shit. You don't need to flaunt to nobody. You find your own drive, you make your own money the way that you do it, and then let that be that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, all these top performers at the job that we work at and shit that are like, oh, I'm a top performer, my face is on the wall, and this, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. Let me see. You sold 100 mobiles, but let me see what your paycheck looks like, homie. Like, that don't mean shit. You didn't make, like, there's a lot of metrics that go behind that shit. And I guarantee you my paycheck probably looks similar to yours. Because if it didn't, you know what I mean, I wouldn't be in positions that I am where I'm at. You know what I mean? Does that make sense what I'm trying to say? Like, it's the loud ones that you got to worry about. And I think Jay-Z said it. He said the quietest one in the room is the richest.
They're always the most dangerous, that's for sure.
And there's a picture of him, and it's crazy, bro. I've seen this picture of Jay-Z. I'll see if I can find it. I'll send it to you guys. There's a picture of Jay-Z who's obviously worth more than any fucking rapper out there, right? And it's like, there's like 30 of them in the fucking room. And they all got these big ass chains on and grills in and all this gold, watches, all that shit. And this motherfucker has nothing. Nothing. And he's the richest one in the fucking room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bro, I wear just enough jewelry so they can send me home. You know what I mean? If they would ever find me somewhere. I wear just enough jewelry, bro. And I've always been, I'm significantly older than some of the boys in my friend group back home, like some of the boys in the fam. And so I've always enjoyed kicking it around them because it's like I don't even feel pressured to flaunt my money in front of them. Mm-hmm. I don't even feel like I need to even mention my job around these guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like talking about it. Because, we get paid pretty good money. Like, you know what I mean? Electricians, period. Like, you know what I mean? They get paid pretty good money, and I travel. So I get, it's a lot of cool shit that comes with it. Like, but I don't like, even now, like, it just sounds weird coming out of my mouth. Like, like it's like, fuck that. But I don't know. Because I've had that thing too of like, I'm not, if it's for the money, this is bullshit. I could just go rob people, like I could just go rob people, bro. Like, I could sell, like, we could get into illicit activities allegedly, like, stupid as fuck. Like, I would rather make an honest man's paycheck, one, and two, it's to show my son, like, hey, bro, when you got responsibilities, you're going to do things that you don't want to do. You feel like you don't have to do them. No, you need to do these things. These are your responsibility. I
normally wear my chain tucked in. The only time I really wear my chain tucked out is when we're on the podcast, or like if I'm going out or something. Like if I have a nice outfit on and I want to show my chain, but I always wear my chain tucked in. Typically, I normally wear my chain tucked in.
And I tell myself nowadays too, if I'm in a space where I feel like I need to do that, then I don't need to be there. You know what I mean? Like I should be able to feel like myself and feel cordial. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just be myself.
Yeah, and I mean that's the other thing, right? Like when you have money, like I was getting to the point where I would buy expensive shit that was just for me. Like I would buy like $200 ties, or like $80 pairs of socks and shit like that, because I was making the money and I didn't want to flaunt it to other people, but it would make me feel nice that I had it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because fuck everybody else. You know what I mean? Fuck everybody else, bro. We don't have to. You don't have to show off shit to fucking anybody.
See, I won't tell anybody when I hit the lottery, but there will be signs, right?
Like if you live in California, everybody gonna know.
There will be signs, right?
But best believe, if I win the lottery, bro, I'm living in a fucking $25-30 million crib in Rancho Santa Fe, and I'm fucking having a nice ass whip and all type of shit, and fuck everybody, dog.
Bro, I don't know. I think we've talked about this for sure, but I'm always of the sentiment now, especially that I've like have a job and like have a place now. I always just like, even if I win the lottery, I just want enough to live and not worry. Ever.
You say that until you have.
No, but the thing is like, that's the thing, is that it works backwards too. So I'm not motivated by money if I don't have enough, but I'm also I'm not necessarily like, and maybe this has changed with like a little bit of age and the fact that like I was kind of in a more fucked situation with money, but having a lot of it, or as much as I've had ever, I'm never like, ooh, like, I don't know, crazed by it as well. Like it works in reverse. Backwards, I should say. Like, not incentivized by it, but I'm also not like super motivated by it. But yeah, I mean, like I wouldn't live here probably, right? Like I would move to a house, but I don't want like a multi-million-dollar house. That sounds like lame to me. I'd want to buy like a decent property here. I'd buy one close to my mom, and then it depends on how much money I have, but like I'd probably buy her a place if I could, buy my dad a place if I could, and they're not going to be like super extravagant. Y'all are not getting fucking maids, okay?
You're telling me you get $500 million. That's how much you actually pocket. $500 million. Mm-hmm. You're not going to have one multi-million-dollar crib.
There will be signs, bro.
So when you say multi-million, you're talking about like 10 and above, 10 million and above, right?
That's not what multi is. Multi is anything over one.
Well, yeah, but no. I'm saying when you say multi, I know multi is more than one. I'm saying when you say multi, do you mean more than 10, or are you saying?
Okay, if you're asking me, yeah, my crib is over 10 million. One of my cribs is over 10 million. Like my crib in San Diego will be over $10 million. But I'm not buying my mama a house. She can live with me. Because my crib will be that big that she can come live. Corpse can come live with me if you wanted to.
I'll be your neighbor in the same house.
Yeah, you can live in the casita in the back, dog.
I would buy like, multi. I don't think multi, maybe like, I guess multi, but nothing over like 9.
Okay, my bad that you're right under 10 million. Like, no, 9 like million is a big ass crib.
I'm not getting close to 9 though. That's what I'm saying.
But you're capping yourself at 9. You're capping yourself at 9.
Like maybe $3 million, but only because the real estate here is ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, but a $3 million crib is still a big crib, dog.
No, it's not, dog. No, it's not.
Bro, you could find a $3 million crib
up north
out here. Yeah.
Bro, in Austin, Texas,
Yeah,
fuck
you can get a
around.
nice ass.
Yeah, but I could buy a nice
Fuck.
house in fucking Austin for $800K, bro. Like that's what I'm spending there. Then I'm buying another spot in Philly for about $1 million, and I'm straight. That's all I need. The rest is going to
That's
everything
what I'm
else.
talking about. I'm buying a place here. I'm buying a place near my mom. I'm probably buying a place near my grandmother, and she could live there. And I probably help my family out with some things that we're going through here on the side. But I don't know. Like a lot of that's probably just
Still
going
don't put
to,
a
like,
dent in 500 million.
But a lot of that is
Dent.
probably just going to like I don't know if it's a trust that would be proper to put it into, but I'd want it to be allocated correctly to where it builds over
Yeah,
time.
throw
Like,
that
and then I can
motherfucker in a CD, dog, and you fucking making 5% off that bitch, dog, and your money will last for a long. I mean, we kind of talked about this.
It'll last forever. Yeah, you have infinite money glitch at that point. But I found out actually, if you put $6 million in a high yield savings account, that's like 5%. You get $240,000 a year.
Yeah, remember we talked about this, and then
How
you
much?
live off of $240,000 a year, and you allow that shit to have compound interest, and you're fucking good.
6 million.
6 million, bro. It's not
out of your
like,
500 mil, dog.
I was gonna say it's not a little bit, but it's not that much. You know? What I
Yeah,
mean?
but
Like,
think
it's
about
not
it. Think
as
about
much
you
as I
opening.
thought.
Think about you opening multiple of those.
Definitely. I mean, like it could be real fun, real quick. But
So you could afford to live in a $30 million crib, dog. Is what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, I don't know if I want that. Like, I don't.
You don't know until you have the money.
Sure, and I mean, like, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of things I'm like, I didn't know this was even possible. With not 500 mils.
Like, I could rent a helicopter.
It changes too when you say like, I wouldn't want this big of a house, right? And I said that too, bro, right? And I started actually writing out one day what my dream house would be and what I would have in there. Bro, it's easily a couple $1 million house. Podcast studio, right? Soundproof. Like, and
Yeah, I don't want that.
get detailed, bro. Get detailed. Like soundproof walls, this, that, and the third. I want this in the house. I want this in the house. In the kitchen, like what does it look like? Like, you know what I mean? Like you like really envision that shit. I'm not easily $1 million crib, bro. Is what I
Maybe
want.
like a studio, little space in the backyard or something, like big enough for. I
You
got
gotta
a little,
build it.
like. You walk over and you're like, "Yo, what's up?"
Bro,
in the
those back
studio.
houses, those back houses like that in spots like North Carolina and Texas and like like everywhere east of California, pretty much, like adds a good fucking chunk of money to the
Oh,
price
yeah,
of a
for sure.
crib, bro. You
I
know
mean,
what I mean?
I'm definitely, but not like 10 mil.
No,
high.
not 2 million, not 2
That's
million.
what I'm saying.
Okay, honestly, like I would have a big ass crib here, right? But my dream spot would be like a warehouse. I think we talked about this on the pod before. A warehouse, bro. Like I would want to live in a warehouse.
That'd be wild. Tfue did that.
Open the door. I could pull my fucking car in. Close. It'd be like a loft area. I could have one section sectioned off for the podcast. I could fucking paint on the other side whenever the fuck I wanted to. Like I would just have a fucking dope ass crib. But that would probably be like a
Shout out, Cuzzo. Shout out, Damo.
look at people are proud of you, Damo.
Oh,
Look
thank
at
you,
that.
thank you.
Look at that. Shout out my 910.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
All right, it's
Much
get
love,
drunk
much
time.
love.
This is get drunk for the last hour time. I gotta cut water.
Really quick, sorry to answer because I didn't answer the question myself.
Oh,
What is
yeah,
it?
my bad.
Cut
What do
water?
you mean, cut water, dog. San Diego based company. These fuck you up. These are like 8 and
That shit is so blown out. It's censored because they didn't sponsor the podcast.
yeah, they didn't sponsor. So hey, fuck you. Cut water, pay me, dog.
Damn, jeez.
gang.
The worst and best years of my life are honestly pretty stacked.
Shit,
Like,
you're
they're-
right. You didn't answer these fucking
I
questions.
didn't answer. Yeah, I didn't answer.
bad.
the question.
Oh shit.
Just to,
We've been talking
just
for the
to-
last 25
Good.
minutes.
No, but I prompted all of the questions, so it's okay.
That's true.
They're kind of stacked. So I'd say 2017 to 2018 was the worst. Wait, I had so much time to think about this now. Now I can't think of it. Actually, 2017. I guess 2016 to 17 was probably the best.
2016,
Because-
2017.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I just got out of a relationship and I was really free. Like it felt
I'm free.
it felt like, I don't know, like I had a lot of time to recoup that I needed to just to be myself and to be with friends and to be with family and have no like looming thing over my head. So it was probably the best.
And you were 17 years old at this time, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me that the best time of your life so far was when you were 17. That's wild to me.
Well, it's only gotten like, I don't know, I think better. I mean, there's been a lot of ups and downs. The worst was probably 17 to 18 because I had gained all of that like ability and like freedom and stuff. And then I lost it because I moved here. When I moved here, I had no friends. I had nobody really to like talk to. I didn't have a job. I felt like I wasn't like contributing to anything. I stopped making videos. I like stopped everything that I had basically like loved doing and like kind of built up and had gotten for the first time. And that was that year. It was like super, I don't like to say depressed very often because I think that's a pretty serious word, but as close as depression as I've ever gotten was probably that year.
You think it was because you moved here? You stopped doing all that stuff.
The move here honestly came with a lot of strings that I didn't really work out at the time. It was so built up in my head because I had moved from California to Texas, to New Mexico. When I moved, it was super sad. I was like super mad at like my mom, and there was a lot of emotions to it that eventually like I kind of figured and worked out. But the goal was always to come back and to be like live my life here because I always felt like it was supposed to be here. And it's funny that Corpse brought up the whole like alternate reality from a move because I have that exact same experience of like so much when I was younger was fixated on the idea that like if I just didn't move, my life would be so much different. And I'll never know, obviously, we'll never know what it's like on the other side of that different reality. But there's so much that I'm grateful for that happened in that move and in that whole process that like made me the type of person I am today. But in that transition from California to New Mexico and living there for like 8 years, I think it was, there was a lot of like buildup of what California was supposed to be in my head. It was like a relationship with my father that I never really got to get because I was in New Mexico. It was a relationship with friends that I had left here when I was in elementary, bro. Like that's how built up in my head it was. It was like, oh, my friends are gonna be back. We're gonna be so sick because we kept in touch as like the time went on. I came here for summer. We like kept in touch. We were cool. And like everything's gonna work out. Like this is obviously when I was younger. I'm gonna move out here and be like doing YouTube full time. I'm gonna make a lot of money, whatever. Everything's gonna be so cool, like so easy. It's gonna be so nice. That was the naive dipshit brain I had. And then
I don't think it's dipshit. Don't do that to yourself.
No, but it was just like it was just so not thought out that like of course it wasn't gonna work out that way. Like yeah, no shit. So coming out here, realizing that like a relationship with my dad is way more work than I was intending. My friends that I had thought would be ready for me to come back are doing their own thing because they have their own life, and of course they do. Like they're not gonna wait for me or anything like that. Realizing that a lot of them weren't like necessarily available to be my friend by the time I got out here. And that's for like one reason or another. But, and also the fact that like I wasn't working for a good portion of that year was like, none of this was supposed to happen this way. So it was like the most idea shattering that I've ever experienced. And all of that being like happening all in at once. Made me super, super depressed, or as close as depressed as I could say I've been. And then the most pivotal year was the year right after, because I got a job, felt a lot better about that. I had gotten a little bit closer with my dad, and I think since then, obviously, I've gotten closer and closer, and found Julissa. And a lot of the things that I was like shattered the year prior, I had kind of reimagined like, okay, things are going to be way harder than I thought, but I'm way more capable than I realize, and I can do things and change things, and there's people in my life that that I could be, grateful for, and work to have better relationships. And so that was probably the best, what most pivotal year of my life, because I like got more control over my life in that year.
Mm.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
About your dad? Just because I don't know. I think I talked about this on the podcast before. Like my mom and I didn't always have the best relationship growing up, but now that I'm older and um, her and I have hung out more as we've gotten older. Like we've really gotten to talk to each other about each other and like, hey, like you were a great mom and this is what I feel like you could have done differently, but I understand why you done this, that, and the other. And like same thing for me. Like you were kind of a shit son when you were younger, but I know why you did that shit and this and that. So I was actually with my mom on Sunday, and um like I have a great relationship with my dad, right? Like I just went and saw him yesterday and we had dinner together and we talk about the shit that I know he likes, like hunting and guns and Mexico and all this shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on Sunday my mom we took a shot of tequila and she asked me, she was like, have you ever talked to your dad about how you feel? And I was like, what do you mean how I feel? And she was like, have you ever talked to him about not being there when you wanted him to be there? You know, like he never went to any of your dance shit. He never watched you skate. He probably doesn't even know that you did graffiti and got paid for it. Have you ever talked to him about that? And I was like, nah. And I don't plan on it. Like I don't plan on talking to my dad about any of those things because. And I've talked to you. I've talked to you about your dad, right? Like I've talked to you and like, yo, why don't you say something, or like, why don't you talk to him about this now, or tell him how you feel? And you're like, oh no, I know how he's gonna respond. And then I gave you shit for it, right? Like I gave you shit, and I was like, yo, you should talk to him about that. But then when my mom asked me that question, and I was like, nah, like I'm not gonna talk to him about it because I already know what he's gonna say. And I was like, holy fuck. Like
Yeah.
Damo told me the same exact thing and I pressed him on it. Like, how do you know what your dad's gonna say? Like you don't know, you're older now, this, that, and the other. But I understood, like from the outside looking in, my mom asked me that and I was like, holy fuck, like I'm okay with my dad leaving this earth and never telling him that. Never telling him that. But yeah. This
No.
might be the night, boys. But I I I don't know because there's just something about my dad where I just don't want him to feel like he fucked up. You know what I mean? I don't want him to think like, damn, I did all. Remember how we were talking about earlier, where like I wish I would have put all this money away and I would have had all this shit before Peanut got here and this, that, and the other. Like I did the opposite of that because of my dad. Ultimately, that was the reason. You know what I mean? So if it's like he gave me this great life, like not that he's giving me a bunch of money or he pays for my house or anything like that, but he really showed me how to be a man, but at the same time, like be the man that I don't want to be for my son.
Mm.
So how do I, you know, I can thank him for being the man that he is, but I don't want to fucking like put a fucking plate of shit in his face and be like, yo, but you fucked up and you weren't there for me. You know what I mean? And I think this kind of circles back. The reason I brought this up because it kind of circles back to the great, like being grateful. Like
Mm.
I'm grateful that he didn't show up to that shit. That he didn't do the things that he did, because if he did, I might not be in the position that I am now for my son.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's funny because I have those talks with my mom. I have those talks with my mom now. Like, and I straight like, dude, why did my dad do that? Like, you guys are fucking dumb. Like, I straight tell her, like, you guys are retarded, dude. Like, why were y'all doing that? Like, or like God, why was he like, why was he this way? Like I talked to her, like, I have like real. I would have never asked my dad those questions though, for sure. I think it's important though that people do have some level of like talks with their parents, like, and it's healthy to unpack some of the stuff that happened in childhood and understand like maybe why it happened that way. You know what I mean? Because I try to think of my dad now as me with Elijah, right? But he was him with me, like, you get me? So like I know what I don't want. I love the things I love about my dad, and then I hate the things that I hate about him. And so
Do you hate them though? Do you hate them, or do you just like?
Yes. There's things that I've learned about my father, or things that I knew, and I allowed him to pass without addressing it. Like, I have a sister, bro. Like, this is honest hour. Like, I have a sister, bro, who passed away when she was very young, right? And my dad, he would not discuss her with us. Like, to my knowledge, I have never heard him even like speak of her ever.
Yeah, my mom had a miscarriage too, and I didn't know until I was older.
So it's like, how dare you?
I could have been a younger sibling to somebody, and I wound up being the oldest.
So to me as the child, I feel like, how dare you cut off this information to my sister? You know what I mean? Like, and she had a different mom, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? But it's still my sister, because her little sister, my sister Rhonda, that's my sister. Like, and I know her, like, you know what I mean? Like, she'll probably end up watching this fucking podcast. Like, that's my sister. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just weird that he treated her so different. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my sister that passed, you know what I mean? And I wish I would have confronted him more about that and be like, hey, dude, like, it's already bad enough, dude. You got multiple wives, dog. Like, let's just talk about the kid, fam. Like, you know what I mean? Because the first time I ever saw her face, I found a picture that was in his room. And I asked him, like, hey, who's that? And dude, he flipped out, bro. He flipped out on me.
Yeah, but I mean, that's also trauma that he has to deal with too. You know what I mean? Like,
so with my son, I'm trying to be in a space where there's a no-fly zone. Like, there is obviously some stuff that's going to be a no-fly zone, right? Like, and he's going to find that out later. But to create as many no-fly zones with him, like, you know what I mean? Like, because if I'm doing something that's affecting him, I want him to have the space to be able to tell me that. Like, you know what I mean? Some stuff is just like, dude, you're a kid, shut up. Like, you know, and some stuff is like, all right, dude, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk to you like that. You know, so you got to pick and choose your battles.
Hey. No, but when my mom asked me that, bro, I was like, I thought of you immediately. Like, once I processed everything, and I was like, holy fuck, I really pressed 0 to chat with his dad. And now I know where you're coming from when you're like, oh, no, like, I already know what the fuck he's going to say. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't fault you for that, because I don't want to have that conversation with my dad.
Can I say something? Something just because I hear both my buddies saying this? is don't make the decision for them, right? If this was me giving you advice, because this is what I look back at, is don't make the decision for them, right? But then do it only if you want to. And then if you want to and you're not doing it, then you need to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, like, but the thing is that my thing is that it's not going to change the outcome of anything.
But we don't know that.
No, it's not. He can't ever watch me dance again. He can't ever watch me skate again. He can't ever go to any of my pieces that I got paid for. None of that will ever happen.
Funny though, my dad has that exact same point of like, it does. It's like, we can't change anything. But something that I've really come to terms. I want to say I've come to terms with. I hope I have. I feel like I have.
The waterworks is really about to start going right now, because I'm on the verge,
Yeah,
bro. You about to get me right there. You about to get me. Be careful what you say, dog, because I have never cried on the podcast. You two motherfuckers have, and I'm not ready for it. Right.
I'm not necessarily trying to, but something that I kind of figured out, I hope, and it happened at a good time because it happened as I was like leaving, probably like a couple months ago. Really, I realized that like I obviously can't change my dad, and I have to love him for like who he is. And there's a saying that's like there's a you have a bloodline, and the bloodline keeps dripping until there's somebody who's ready to feel it. And what that essentially is like it's coming to terms with the fact that like my dad is a reaction of what his dad did, and what his dad did, and what his dad did, and so on and so forth. And I could choose to continue the bloodline, and as unfair as it might be, I could also choose to change the outcome going forward, because I have to endure everything that he's going to react to, but maybe my kid doesn't have to, and that's a better outcome. But also coming to the realization of he might not want to talk about or address or as much as I might think I deserve an apology, apologize for anything he's ever done that I deem unfair. I just have to come to terms and love what he is willing to do or give. And I mean, whether that's fair or not is a whole nother conversation. But I think it is better to leave things said versus unsaid, because as much as I guess we'd like to say we're comfortable, when his eyes close forever, to leave things unsaid, I don't think that that's okay. And when you did talk to me about it, Save, I did have a conversation with him, and as much as he might say like, oh, it doesn't matter, it mattered to me a lot, because when he goes, I could say there's nothing that I left on the table,
Yeah. See, I'm the opposite, bro.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite because I see how my dad is, and I see how he is with my kid, and I see how he is with his other grandkids. And to me, like I said, because I try and find the light in every situation, bro. You know what I mean? I try and find the positivity, and I had to endure that, and whether you say it's childhood trauma or whatever the fucking case may be, that I haven't unpacked it or whatever. Like I feel like I've unpacked it if I'm able to chat about it, right? Mm-hmm. And for me to understand that I will not do that to my kid is enough understanding for me to never have to bring it up. Because in my eyes, my father has a better life without me being like, hey, yo, like you really fucked me up because you didn't do this shit.
Well, but also, like, what if, like, not even necessarily bringing it up in that vein?
I mean, yeah, obviously I'm being very vain like right now, but.
I know, no, but like, I just mean if, like.
If I would have been like, Dad, I wish you would have watched me dance. Dad, I wish you would have done this, but. And then I say, like, oh, I'm glad you didn't, though, because now look at the life that Peanut's going to have. Like, no, like, I think it's better off going unsaid.
Do you think it would create more of an inclination for him to be at Peanuts games?
No, because I already think he will do that.
But what if also not only to your son, but what if he? I do think to some degree I feel like I have changed my dad even a little bit. He can't go back. He'll never be able to go back. None of us can. But everything that I've told him, one, gets me closer to him because now he knows how I feel. And whether or not he wants to address that or not is definitely within his power, within his right. But at least he knows. He has a better like indication of where I am. And then two, even if like 1% of him, the next time I see him, can be more informed on how to act and how I would appreciate it, and he acts on that, that's something that I could be appreciative of.
Yeah, but I'm to the point where, like, I don't need my dad to act any different towards me. He shows me love. I mean, like last night, I wasn't gonna go to his crib, bro. I was hungover as fuck. I was like, my stepmom, I wasn't like, I was under the impression that my stepmom wasn't gonna be home, so nobody was cooking. And he called me and he said, "Hey, we're waiting for you. Like, where you at? We're waiting to eat." Like that to me is like, you waited for me to eat. My stepmom cooked. Like, okay, I'll be there in 10 minutes. I was there. We ate. We had a good time. We talked about his time in Mexico again because I know that's what he enjoys. I'm to the point where I'm chilling in my life right now, where I am as a father, and I have great conversations with my father about whatever the fuck it is. Granted, I only get one day to talk to him, like face to face, but I mean, God willing, he'll make it back home to where he's from, where he wants to die and rest his head, and I'll be able to go visit him. God willing, of course, right? Like, I'll be able to spend so much more fucking time with him when I go visit him out there, and we'll be able to do everything that we weren't able to do when I was a kid, as an adult with him, in the place that he wants to be and enjoys being at, doing the things that he enjoys doing, and maybe at that point, then maybe I'll have a conversation with him, but like where I am in my life, I don't care to do that because one, I'm in a good place. I'm in a great place. I've taken the light out of the negative, what others may call a negative situation, or even what I may call as a negative situation. And why put, I have no need to put a burden on him to think that he fucked up when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a good man, bro. Like I grew up to be a great individual because of that. So what do I need to tell him? You know what I mean? I grew up to be a great individual. I genuinely feel like I'm a great individual. I have great people around me. Look at you two. If I was really that fucked up, you guys wouldn't be around me. But I'm a part, like, I grew up because of that. I don't even know what the fuck what came up on the bottom. I missed it. What did it say?
He wants you to change your mind. Just talk to him about it, bro. I'm on.
What's the benefit? What's the benefit, though? What's the benefit?
It's so weird that you flipped so hard from like.
No, because I understand. Yeah, because I understand.
Ask him, how are you able? Where's the disconnect of you telling him and then you not doing it though?
Well, because now it's in front of me and I'm understanding of it. Like, what good comes of it? What good comes of it?
Because I'm on team good comes from it. Right. I'm on team good comes from it. All right. And one, it does something for me. Right. It does something for me to look at the person across from me and they ain't even got to apologize and they can rationalize whatever the fuck. But me saying it to you makes me feel better.
Yeah, but I feel better just saying it to you guys.
But it to me, and that's where it is fair if that's enough for you. But for Pacho, it was not enough. It was not enough. Like
if my father passes away tomorrow, I will not regret that I did not have this conversation with him. I know that I will not. Because where my father and I are currently, we're in a great place. Where I am as being a father, I'm in a great place. And I know that the outcome of our conversation cannot change the outcome of who I am as a man to this day and will not change the outcome of how he moves forward. I know that for a fact because there is nothing that he can do like I said, there is nothing that he can do for me now that he isn't already doing.
I do. I like to openly bring some of the stuff up to my mom, right? Because again, I'm team good comes from it. And I feel that sometimes I find a certain connection with her because I'm telling her I recognized her faults and her mistakes. I love you for them, Mom. Like, you know what I mean? And to me, honestly, I feel like it brings the most peace to my mom to hear me tell her, like, yeah, I know that you did this, but I still love you. Like, I love you. Like, you know what I mean? I love you, Mom. Like, you know what I mean? But you and my dad were fucking nuts, fam. Like, you guys are straight.
But I think that's the difference, right? It's like, I think I'm more open with my mother about talking about how I grew up with whatever the fuck she did when I was growing up. because I have a more active relationship with her, and she's still constantly changing with me.
And it's your mom, and
You know what I
it's
mean?
mom.
Yeah, there's more, and there's more of a safe space when it comes to talking to mom, right? But
Yeah,
I
it's mom.
feel like with mom, it's more of I have a constant relationship with you, where you watch my son overnight sometimes, or um, you and I go out to dinner together, and there's things that we chat about, or even the way, like, I don't think my father views me in a negative way, but I do believe that my mother did view me in a negative way because I did some fucked up shit as a child that my father didn't see, but my mother was there to witness all of it. So I feel like the conversation with my mother had to happen because of those situations, and I didn't want her to think that I was a fucked up, that I grew up to be a fucked up adult. And I don't, and I know now that she doesn't view me that way. She thinks I'm a great father. She thinks I'm a great man. She thinks I'm an alcoholic that smokes too much. Which, granted, those things may be true, but she knows that when the time comes and something needs to go down, or you know what I mean, I'm the one to call. I'm the
Do
and
you
I and
think
it's
that?
the opposite of what she thought before, right? Where she thought it was my brother who was the one to call. When a call to action is there, who do you call? She found out real quickly that was not to be the case.
Do you think that? Do you think she has a certain relationship, or you have a certain relationship with her because of your dad's lack of involvement?
No, but I think she
No.
appreciates the more I converse with her about how I felt when I was a kid and where I am now because of it, because I have opened up to her about it.
Hmm.
No, she knows how I view my father, and I don't, like I said, I don't view my father negatively at all. Do I wish he would have done? Do I wish he would have known some of the shit that I was into when I was younger? Absolutely, because I'm that much involved with my child at his current age. You know what I mean? But I'm also an understanding where when you're a fucking immigrant,
So
bro,
why
and
not
you're
try
here,
that with your dad?
because what's the benefit of it?
Because then you'll have the same relationship you have with your mom with your dad.
I can't though, because I can't take my dad out to dinner. I can't take him out to breakfast. I can't go out with him on a Friday night and do something with him because he works 2 jobs.
That's just a time confliction. It starts with the relationship though.
No, but it's all time conflicting.
But also, I don't feel like you would ever say this
But the
about
relationship
anything
though.
other than your conversation with your dad. I'm trying to think of like another situation where even though at maybe even just like surface level or as much as we could see nothing coming of it, you would never say like so for example, if I had an issue with something, I'm trying to think of like the equivalent or like something that I could equate, but like if something that is so pertaining to me that you couldn't change at all, you wouldn't say that like me harboring it is a better thing because there's nothing that could be done for it. Right? Like if there was even some level of
Probably not.
you probably not what?
I
Not
probably
you
would
would
not be able to say this about any other situation besides this.
This is exactly the reason why you should do it. It's probably the only exact reason why you should all do all of it, my boy.
But I don't see I see no there is no change that comes of it, bro. I
it's not
genuinely
necessarily
believe
the
that.
change that I don't think should be the
But
metric.
I don't carry a weight on my chest about it.
Obviously, you do if this is the one topic that you won't be with. Like, if this is the one, whatever it is, that's the reason why you should do it.
At the end of the day,
No,
it is obviously
the only reason I brought this conversation up was because my mother asked me about it, and it pertained to a conversation that Zero and I had, and I wanted to apologize to Zero about pressing him so hard on the matter because I understand where he's coming from. Granted, I didn't know that he went and had the conversation with his father. I didn't know that. We didn't have that conversation, you and I.
yeah, I tried, but
You tried, but the outcome was what you thought it was going to be, right?
yeah, but I think that's what.
But it made you
evolved
feel
into
better?
That's what he no, but that's what evolved into.
So
the,
okay, well, thanks for making my point even fucking deeper. What the fuck?
Wait, because that's what evolved the mindset of not necessarily like if somebody in particular him, if he's not willing to help fix the problem, I have to take what I have and come to peace with it, basically.
But that's the thing is there is no problem, and I've already come to peace with the issue.
Okay.
Dude, yeah, there was a excerpt of a book that my sister had sent me, bro, that I tried to pull up while you were talking about it, bro, and it said something to the effect. I remember one of the lines was is I grow tired. I grow tired of looking at people as broken pieces. Instead, now I look at them as a painting of mosaic or something like that, where it's like all the broken pieces are put together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
And
tile, like a
like,
mosaic,
yeah,
right?
glass
Yeah.
mosaic. I can't remember exactly how the excerpt went. I'm sorry. I know I butchered that,
No,
but
it's good. I like it.
but it just made me think, like, yeah, instead of looking at my dad as this fucking mean this and that, and even though I didn't get to have that conversation, when I see him next, we're having that talk, motherfucker, like, but I didn't get to have it, but I understand, and now I kind of look at him more of like, oh, he was this dude who was a certain way because he went through so many different things, and some of them was inside of his control, and he just made bad choices, and then there was stuff outside of his control and he still made bad choices, so it's like double whammy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we do that, like, you know what I mean, like, we we're flawed individuals where we think we have the best information, so we make certain choices, you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
And that's the
um
other thing that you have to that I've taken into consideration with my father is that he grew up in a different country, bro, where the rules and regulations are different on how you do certain things, and
mm,
who was there to teach him any different?
mm,
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I can't like I don't fault him for the way that he is or the way that he did things because what's his underlying reason? And I know
Well,
his underlying reason. You know what I mean?
also
mhm,
to be
Go ahead.
fair, sorry. To be fair, really quick, and something that I think proved me right a little bit, even though in the moment it didn't make me feel better. I know he's at least 1% different because there are moments where, and I try to call this out as much as I can, where I know it's like not in his nature to do things that would make me feel better. There was something recently, I think it was pertaining to like moving here, where I just talked to him about like, I don't know, I'm really, nervous. I don't know what to do. And I don't know if I'm like not making the right choice, but like, I don't know if I'm doing anything right. And he just gave me like kind of just words of encouragement. And it was just like, you're going to be okay. You're going to be all right, whatever. And then later I was like, I know you don't necessarily think that like does too much. I know that that's not like in your kind of in your nature. But I really appreciate that. Thank you. And I know like he doesn't do that regularly, even if I'm like kind of like worried about something. And so that's how I kind of feel like it's justified, at least for me, to have had that conversation, that it was worth having that conversation because
You don't think he would have told you that regardless of the conversation that you had with them or not?
mm,
Like you think that's a product of that conversation?
I think at least part of it is, yeah. Not that he would be like, oh, you're like fucking up in every other way, but like there are just moments where I do appreciate when he like it just feels like he's coming out of his comfort zone a little bit.
mhm.
And maybe he would have said, but in my mind, I feel like it was the fact that he was, and then we had conversations even afterwards where he, brought it up or told me, things or guardrails of like how to function and things that I really appreciated that I don't think he would have elaborated on if he didn't know how I felt.
Hmm.
So, but
I
it sucked
mean,
at first for sure. It was fucking bullshit. But yeah, I mean that's what I think.
I'm on team just say something. I'm telling you, Cisco, I'm so invested in this right now, dude.
no, and,
I'm
and and and
torn.
that's fair. That's fair, right? Like I knew where you guys would stand on the situation. God damn, my whole shit just went down.
You're live.
Yeah, I don't know why. I feel like
Well, yeah,
Instagram does this thing where it can only be live for a certain amount of fucking time.
yeah.